With the help of Hashem, this Shabbat is Parashat Chazon. We call the Shabbat Chazon. Chazon means the vision. We read the famous chapter 1 in Isaiah. And there, Isaiah speaks about the Jewish people in his time that they were corrupted in judgment and judges. And he says few fundamental things which are very important for us. He says, in the future, Ashiva Shoftaich Kevarishoino, I'll bring back your judges like the early time, like the first time, which the judges are good judges. Ve'yoatzaich, and your advisors, Kevatchil, like the beginning, like it started. Achreiken, only after that, Ikor Eloch Irat Tzedek Kiryon Emor. After the judges will be correct judges, proper judges, they will judge properly, then I can call Jerusalem the city of justice, the trustworthy city. And then he says a very famous statement, Zion b'mishpat tipodeh. Zion will be redeemed with judgment. V'shaveh, and the people that will come back to it will be only with charity b'tzedakah. Now what does that mean? So it says here that the problem was the leaders, the judges. The judges were corrupted. In the future, B'ezrat Hashem, Mashiach will come. The judges will be two stages. Number one, the judges will be proper judges. And after that, people can call the city of Jerusalem a city of justice, a city that you can trustworthy, because you have corrupt judges. Can you trust them? You can't trust the court. The judge, the rabbi who judge you not favorably because he got bribed. This story, so you cannot trust us. People lost trust in the justice system. But we say no. Mashiach will come, will fix this problem. The judges will be proper judges, the trust will come back, and Zion, with judgment, will be redeemed, and the coming back Jews will be redeemed by charity. So we basically have two subjects. One is the proper judgment, the proper law to be applied in the country. Number two, the Jewish people, not the judges, the leaders, the Jewish people need to become charitable people. Those are the two factors which were missing. Rabbi Shimshon here says, when we mourn at the destruction of Yerushalayim, what do we mourn about? We don't mourn the history that the house, the temple, the Beis HaMikdash was destroyed 2,000 years ago. Is that an event to remember history? As a nation needs to have a history. No. We mourn that those reasoning didn't change. Because if those reasonings will change, Zion will be redeemed. We will come back with charity. So we have to now mourn and think to ourselves, any generation that the temples are built in these days means that they're corrupted and still with the same problem. They didn't change those problems. The problems that our judges are not judging with proper judgment. And we, as the Jews and the people of the nation, we're not coming back because we're not charitable people. As it says, Zion will be redeemed with judgment, and the comers coming back will be redeemed with charity. So this is what we have to think. This is what it's about. Any generation that the temple, the Beis HaMikdash are built in these days, means was destroyed in these days. the destruction is still there. There is a Gemara in Brochas, page 33. The Gemara says a very famous statement, which is very important on a positive note. Omar Rabbi Elazar, Kol Odom, any man, Sheyesh Bo Deya, any man that has knowledge. Deya, what is that? Deya? Knowledge. Understanding. Ki'ilu nivno Beis HaMikdash b'yomov. As if the Beis HaMikdash, the temple, was built in his days. So we have the general public, the Jews. To be redeemed, we have to change the judges. To be redeemed, we have to be charitable people. And Zion will not be redeemed unless we have proper judgment. We bring back the trust, that we can call the city a city of justice, a city of trustworthy. That's the only way. And if it's not happening in our days, it means we're still corrupt. But the individual person is not part of that. The individual can say, although the Beis HaMikdash was not built in my days, physically, but as if it was built in my days. Which type of person can say on himself, or the rabbis talk about him, that the Beis HaMikdash was built in his days as if it was built even though it was not built? A man that has de'ah. What is a man that has de'ah? A lot of people, life carry them. They get up in the morning, they need to eat, they're hungry, so they go get food, which means the needs of the reality pulls the action. They're being pulled by life. But as a man that has de'ah, he has understanding, life doesn't pull him. He knows, just what de'ah means, de'ah comes from the word knowledge. You know, which means your knowing doesn't change according to the circumstances of life. You're not being pulled. You see a reality, you don't lose north. You have de'ah, you have the balance. You know exactly what's the right thing, what's right, what's false, what's true, what's not true, what is a lie, what is good, what is bad. You're not being pulled and mixed up in reality. So a man that life doesn't pull him, he pulls life. He understands, he has the idea of Hashem, he knows Hashem, and he's not pulled with all the situation, because always he can see through. Is the truth of life reveal Hashem in his life? A guy like that, Omar Ablazo, call me sheyesh bo deya, if you have deya, as opposite, as if the Beis HaMikdash was built in his days, because he is the Beis HaMikdash. He is a Merkava of Ashkina. He is a chariot of Ashkina in the world. Because he walks around, he always understands, he brings that, doesn't get mixed up with the exile. He's not getting mixed up. He is the true judge of his life. He is the Ish Tzedek. He is the Ish of Tzedakah. He is a man of charity. He is a man of judgment for his life, and he never loses north. And this is what we require and strive from ourselves and our generation. Baruch Hashem, we back in Eretz Yisrael. But the judge of Eretz Yisrael, bad news. Hashem Yishmor. Even religious judgments. We do the best we can. We're still not there. But when we learn in yeshiva, what do you learn Iyun here for? Binyamin. We require boys in yeshiva to learn Iyun. It's hard, tough, right? It's tough, easy. It's hard, pieces put together. But we train a person not to be mixed up with details, to search for the truth, for the essence, and to the true balance and the true svara in the depths of in the center of the subject. That's what we train for. We're training people to be people of de'ah, people of knowledge, of understanding. That life doesn't pull them, they pull life. Then they said they always see Hashem in their reality. They never get pulled away. This is what we train for. Because with that, everyone in yeshiva will be a bendeo, will be a person with understanding of Hashem in his life. So then Beis HaMikdash was built in his days, as if it was built. So we're not mourning on the history then. We mourning that the reality now continues. In general, in particular. Because if you're not a Baldea, if I see the yeshiva and you're floating and you're not really changing to be a bendea of understanding of life of Hashem, just floating in the yeshiva, or you're not in yeshiva at all, so then I mourn. I mourn for the individuals, and I mourn for the Jewish people in general. So really the message for us as B'nai Torah, of people who are learning in yeshiva, the message for us is we have to become B'nai Deya. I always said, my students always ask me, can I watch a movie? I said, okay, movie's a waste of time. Movie, or whatever it is, TikTok, whatever you want to watch, which is not, I'm not talking about Torah. Movies, secular things. First is B'nai Torah, you have to watch your eyes, you have to language. But I said it's something much more than that. Are you a bendeya? Are you a person that when you see something, you know what's wrong, what's right? The values they give you. The understanding of life they give you there. The subconscious that the movie gives you of understanding of life. Can you stop and say, this is right, this is wrong, and not be pulled and persuaded and be affected from it? Otherwise, you can't watch a movie. It doesn't mean if you have a day, you'll have to watch. There's other problems. Not proper pictures, foul language, there's other problems. But let's say the technical problems are solved. But the main issue, this will destroy your baldea, will destroy your day, your knowledge of Hashem. Because who produced those movies? Geshoyim, non-religious people don't have the proper values, and they shove in all their values and understanding in those movies and whatever they want to sell to you, conscious and subconscious. And if you're not a person of that, you cannot touch it. So who is a person that Beis HaMikdash is built in these days? Rabbi says a person which has Deya. Deya is between two names of Hashem. Deya is between two Beis HaMikdash. That's what Deya is being brought. That's the first blessing we say in Shmoneh Esrei. What is the first blessing after the first three blessings of Hashem? We're talking about what is our first request? Give us knowledge. We want Deya. That's the first blessing, our first request from Hashem is Deya. Because a man that doesn't have Deya is like an animal. A person that doesn't understanding of Hashem, he's mixed up life carries him like an animal. Animal, the life carries him. He's hungry, he wants food. He starts biting, eating people, beating animals because he's hungry. So he starts biting like an animal. He needs money, he goes to work like an animal. He follows his needs, his desires, his feelings. He doesn't have life. He doesn't do things in life because his mind tells him what's right. Understanding of Hashem and doing Hashem's will. So he's an animal. But we are not animals. We are not animals that speak and talk. We are human beings. We are Baldea. That's the first blessing we ask from Hashem. Our first request is one Esrei. Give us there! Because Hashem will give us there as if the Beis HaMikdash was built nowadays. We hope and pray that everyone in the yeshiva will have the Deya and will be able to be happy in Tisha B'Av privately and generally seeing the Beis HaMikdash be built nowadays speedily and seeing Mashiach will come speedily.